Welcome back, viewers. As you can see, this is not my usual setting. I don't think they make buildings in New Zealand this tall. Hattie and I have actually just popped across the ditch to Australia, Sydney specifically, to come and see some family and just to explore the city a bit. So no cows for me and therefore for you this week. But I wanted to make a vlog, partly to keep the YouTube machine happy, but also honestly, I really enjoy making these for you. And one holiday, I think like a lot of people, I end up doing a bit of reflection on how things are going and what's next. And I should be clear, these are simply reflections of a farm vet with too much time on his hands. Not necessarily advice, I appreciate everyone's different. It's more just points of discussion. I'd be really interested just to know the people who watch this, how you feel about it. The reason really we're in Sydney, not only because it's a great city, is because my brother lives here. He came here for work a couple of years ago. Now he's not a vet, he's far too switched on for that. He works in high finance, gives him a bit extra cash to enjoy the perks the city has to offer. But the point is, both of us have had this opportunity to work abroad and we've run with it. And I think both of us would say it's been a fantastic experience so far. Now I know there's vet students, prospective vet students, farmers, people who work out with agriculture who watch this. So my point here is, I think if you're in the fortunate position of starting out a career, of choosing your vocation, or mid-career being able to reskill and try something different, I would always think about that skill, that vocation. What capacity does that give you to travel and take that vocation with you? Veterinary medicine is clearly a great one. I've gone to New Zealand, but I've got friends since graduation who've gone to Australia, Hong Kong, the USA, Canada, Italy. Those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head. But loads of agricultural jobs are fantastic for this as well. My friend Cameron Wilson at the sheep game, he would be banging the drum for sheep shearing at this point. But driving tractors, milking cows, all of that, those are all things that are in demand. And these are things you can practice effectively as a sole trader or a contractor. You don't really need to bring much or any kit with you. There are so many upsides to exploring other countries, and I really think working somewhere is a fantastic way to get a bit more involved in a place and a culture. And my second point follows on from this, because as we were getting ready to make the move out to New Zealand, there were so many people, and my brother would say this as well, who said to us, God, we're jealous, we wish we could do that, have a great time. Now, they might just have been being polite, and there are people who just prefer to be settled in one place. I respect that as well. But equally, I'm sure there are many, many people who would love to go on a working holiday, an overseas experience, whatever we're calling it, but sort of hem themselves in, they build these walls, they talk themselves out of doing it. So me, for example, in the year up to moving to New Zealand, I bought a house, I bought into the practice, I've taken on a mortgage and a partnership loan to pay for those two things respectively. I had a dog, had a local girlfriend, the practice I was working for, the people I was working with, the place I was working, all fantastic. All of these things could easily have become reasons not to leave, not to explore somewhere else. Admittedly, I don't have any children, that would add an extra layer of responsibility, but I do know plenty of people, engineers, vets, who have either grown up in a family that's travelled abroad for a part of their childhood or have taken their children abroad for an extended working holiday, and guess what? Those children have turned out just fine. In fact, I might even say they're among some of the most well-rounded people I know. So again, my point here, and this applies actually out with travel, this applies to any sort of enterprise you're thinking about engaging in. Until you start making inquiries and asking people, you're never going to get anywhere. As some people in Northumberland might say, shy bands get now. More simply, don't ask, don't get. Make no mistake, I wouldn't be here without some very, very understanding colleagues and family. But guess what? Once you start asking, it's amazing how accommodating people are. And I'd like to think in the future I'll be able to repay that favour to others in similar positions. Now, there are absolutely mountains of books, blogs, vlogs, websites on this topic. I'm sure there'll be plenty of nonsense out there. All I'll say is, a couple of years ago I read the sort of now hallowed 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. This isn't an ad, I'll just say I really enjoyed his outlook, and I think if you want to travel and work, you might appreciate it too. Anyway, that'll be enough to feed the YouTube machine for now, hopefully. Back on farm next week to catch the sort of second half of Repro. Who would let me away this week? Thanks, Fleur. To catch those videos instead of some half-baked career advice, you know what to do. You just click that subscribe button, ring the little bell next to it, and I will see you for those ones. Anyway, enjoy your week. I'm off to the beach for a bit.